workstation is ready. Let's grab all of the products we need. The classic sealer, the adhesive, the old package I already told you about, special plastic, the modeling clay, HD blood in both light and dark tones. Then we have some more modern products like 99% alcohol, disposable items on the side, and alcohol-based color palettes. The first one you see with skin tones, it's the body illustration makeup. Then we have the Aphex Design palette, the new one that I just used, so it's still a little dirty on the lid, and then the Reaper Effects Bloody palette. As usual, we'll use adhesive as a base for applying both clay, special plastic, and wax. But first, I need to degrease the skin just like I would for wax, and actually before any application. Now, since we're working on a small area, I simply use a Q-tip soaked in alcohol to clean the skin. I can go slightly beyond the exact area I'm gonna use. Remember, it's better to clean a bit more than not enough. Back to the adhesive, which is the spirit gum. I'm applying it directly with the brush from the bottle because this is an old product I'm only using now for these tutorials, and then I will throw it away. If you use adhesive or any other products on yourself or on somebody else, always pour it into a small cup and use a separate brush that you can actually clean properly. This step is extremely important to maintain product quality and avoid contamination. Try and keep this in mind because it's all about being safe, even if you're just having fun by yourself or with your friends. And now let's take the special plastic out of the box. We've already said that I don't like either wax or special plastic, but between the two, in my very humble opinion, there's a big difference in ease of use and modeling. Wax is so much easier to work with, but since we're testing everything, we'll also use special plastic. As you can see, it's very soft, even softer than wax when pulled out of the package. Just like in a previous wax tutorial, I'm creating a small cylinder with the special plastic to shape the cut and apply it exactly where I've applied the adhesive, the spirit gum, which is now dry. As you can see, my hands get dirty and sticky again. On a professional level, this is absolutely not ideal and honestly not even that fun at home. But we've already established that, so let's move on. I'm using a wooden spatula. You could also use a metal one, but I prefer these because they're disposable and easy to recycle. I don't have to clean or degrease them. It's easier, right? Anyway, I'm using the spatula to shape and flatten the special plastic, creating the basic cut. Then, just like in the previous video, I have to remove all of the excess material around the effect. So the edges are very clean and also the skin has to be very clean. Also, it's very important to leave a bit of thickness in the center, which is where I will actually carve the wound. And without using any extra products, I'm smoothing the surface with my finger to remove the marks left eventually by the spatula. With a pointed tool, I'm defining the inside of the wound. Just like in a previous exercise, nothing really changes here. The products behave pretty much the same way. We still have excess material around the edges, so we have to remove more. Wax and silicone, of course, makes this step much easier, but when using special plastic, it's a bit more difficult. When you blend outwards, you actually tend to spread too much material on the skin, which reveals the makeup. We don't want that. In fact, we need to blend and then remove the excess. This allows us to keep only what's necessary so the material doesn't show with even the smallest movement. What matters is just the cut and the immediate surrounding area. So this is the final sculpted result. Now we need to seal the special plastic just like we did with wax. I'm quickly applying the sealer with a Q-tip. There's nothing interesting to watch here, we're just covering the special plastic. So I'm doing it pretty quickly. When I'm done, I'm cleaning my palette because I want to create a basic skin tone that suits me. Special plastic is pink, which obviously doesn't match my skin tone. This isn't the focus of the tutorial, but I'm quickly neutralizing the pink using a touch of blue from the palette. And then I don't simply brush it on the special plastic, but I'm spraying it using a flicking technique. I've used 2 different alcohol palettes already, so why not a third? Time for the Ripper Effects Bloody palette, and I'm using the blood tone, which is slightly darker than the lightest one, to add a little depth to the wound. Now you see me painting the inside of the wound, but if you think about it, I'm actually painting the skin, which is under the special plastic, and only the edges of the cut. And then I'm adding a little red spots around the outside, like the blood that has already spread, but without going too far. I don't want to add too much. I don't want to cover the whole special plastic material. If I did, the result will turn into something very unrealistic to see. On the other side of the wound, so on the left, I'm not applying color almost because I want to simulate gravity. So I want the blood to flow downward, just toward the thumb. This detail is very important when choosing how and where to apply blood for a realistic effect. Even if we're using vintage products, we should still apply modern realistic logic to our work. As you can see, a simple and gentle touch of a soft brush has cracked the special plastic while working blood around. This is something I can actually fix easily, as I can highlight small fractures inside the wound and on the ripped skin to add movement to the effect. Please don't get me wrong, it's a problem, but I could easily make something cool out of it. This time, that doesn't always happen. So, problem fixed, I'm dropping more blood and make sure it flows in the right direction. Gravity matters. Dexter teaches a lot about that. That's why reference images are always so important. And now, I'll show you a very common mistake, adding way too much blood without any logic. The difference is obvious, so I'm removing it immediately. I am pretty ashamed of it. And here you can clearly see how fragile special plastic is. Even compared to wax, it's even more fragile. Even the smallest movement can destroy all of the work you've done. That's the real problem. Special plastic and wax can be fun to experiment with, but on a professional level and in proper training courses, they're simply not the right choice.